Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is talkincrazy88 back again for another live stream right on the balcony. How's everybody doing on this beautiful Friday evening? Hope everybody's doing very well. I'm not going to keep y'all too long because I know you have better things to do on a Friday night than listen to an old man rambling on the balcony about nonsense. How's everybody's week going so far? I know you're all looking forward to Friday, the weekend, so on Sunday morning you just have to prepare yourself to go do this bullshit all over again. I know I am. I know I will. Just got a batch of cigars that I ordered this week, and it's the gigante size cigars. It's going to take a lot of time. Normally, it's not really my thing to smoke a big old fat cigar because I got things to do. I don't want to just sit around on the balcony and smoke a good one, smoke a cigar, and talk to you fellas. I got a life. But I just wanted to, something that's just popped up in the news today. It's just a thought of mine that go back to one of my podcasts about interracial dating, interracial marriages. Now, I don't care about interracial dating. I don't really give a fuck about it. I've done it. I'm still doing it. I'm going out with snow bunnies and Asian rice bunnies and salsa bunnies and even the chocolate bunnies. I love the chocolate bunnies. I love all types of bunnies. That's just me. Would I marry anybody that's outside of FBA? Probably not. Probably not. If I like somebody, if they're old and I'm old, we need to take care of each other. We can take care of each other. And, we can rock out together. That'd be cool. But, I mean, if I were to get married and I want to have black children. I want to have FBA children so I can tell them about my lineage. All right? So they can learn about my lineage and how rich and fascinating our lineage are, how great we are. That we didn't have to flee a country, we didn't have to leave our own country. We didn't have to leave our own impoverished country where the so-called white man just decimated it and still sucking off the titties of it. I want you to understand that, fellas. But the reason why I'm bringing up this subject is because earlier this week, there's a young lady by the name of Elizabeth Storer Pryor. Now, she's the daughter of Richard Pryor. One of his 7 children. 2 of them is pretty much the amount of something. 2 of his daughters who have to be half-breed, born to a Jewish woman. All right, Jewish mother, and she came out with a memoir about her life being raised by her Jewish mother and having a famous father who was an actor, comedian, well known, who trailblazed, who was a pioneer for most comics today. Most comics who when I was growing up, who became comics who are my age, they often reference Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor is the greatest of all time. He's one of the greatest. Well, he's one of the greatest of my time. When I was growing up, I always wanted to go to the movies. I wanted to take my parents. I wanted my parents to take us to the movies because he had a comedy movie live on Sunset Strip when he was doing his show down in New Orleans back in 1982. And I always wanted to see that. I've always been fascinated by that movie. I've never got a chance to see it, even in 2026. I never got a chance to see it. I might pull it up on Netflix or YouTube or whatever. But it's interestingly enough that in her memoir, she pointed out that her mom called her a nigger. Her Jewish white mom called her a nigger, adding to the complexities of boring a child out of interracial union. Now, I remember when I used to listen to the context of white supremacy, Gus T. Renegade. He's still around, but he's kind of right on about, mixing up with black folks, black men, such as myself, mixing up with white women and marrying them and boring a child and having a family, because anytime that you have a mixed race baby, they like to call them biracial. I don't like to call them mulatto. I look at them as I look at the biracial children out of these unions as weirdos. And if I'm offending y'all, some of my members out there, and some of my listeners out there, you know how I used to do it back in the day. Go fuck yourself. Go listen to something else, man. You ain't gotta listen to my channel. You ain't gotta listen to anything that I say from this channel. There are plenty of other channels out there you can listen to. I'm honored that you chose my channel to listen to, but if you don't like what I say, fuck it. Fuck you and fuck it. I'm gonna speak my mind on this live or any of my podcasts. All right? I'm a nobody. I'm just like I said before, I'm just a pimple on the ass of YouTube. Okay? I'm a nobody. Check my subscribe. I have the subscriber count. But, the viewers, nobody's listening to my shit, so fuck it. How do I say? That's what I always say. But see, that's one of that added on. And I'm gonna have to get her. I'm gonna have to read her book to really get the context of it. Because they just people like when they're selling books or selling a movie, they like to they like to sensationalize shit. But I can honestly tell you that it is complex. When these weirdos come out and they have some sort of complex because they're not accepted in the white world and they're praised as goddess among the black community, which is somewhat true. I mean, it's somewhat true among the tethers. I mean, from my experience, we kind of reject them because we kind of do reject them. In a way, I do reject them because they're not really black. To me, they're not. It's kind of hard to explain, but when you run into one, you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll know the energy. The energy is much, much different than just the normal FBA. Running into having a discussion with a normal FBA person, right? I mean, we can relate. We can relate to a whole lot of things. I just don't relate to, my white side of the family don't want anything to do with me, and I have a complex. I'm angry at my father because I'm too dark. I'm not dark. I'm not dark. I'm too dark to pass as white. All right. I'm not light enough to be white. At the end of the day, that's what it is. And you can tell by the Sage Steels out there, the Joy Taylors. You know, we as black men, we pedestalize these bitches because back in the day we used to pedestalize them. I know I used to pedestal. I knew, hey, I gotta get me a light skinned one. And then I realized something in my feeble little brain that, there's some dark skinned. There are some dark skinned women out there that are just as pretty or much prettier than these bitches. Than the light skinned bitches. I know because there was a dark skinned Panamanian chick that I was chasing after a few years ago. She got married on me, but fuck it. I still call her from time to time and try to flirt with her, try to see if she can leave her husband for 5 minutes with me. I know that's not going to happen, but whatever. I even told her, look, 20 years from now, okay, when you're in your 60s and 70s, and I told her, check this out. When you're in your 60s and 70s, I'm going to be in my 70s. Your husband's going to be dead, or he probably won't be able to use his thing. So, I probably won't even need Viagra to get with you. So, if you're still looking good, man, I'll bring you over to my house. But that's just a pipe dream, though. That's just a pipe dream. But like I said, about these weirdos, have biracials that's running around. They're only black when it's convenient. See, I'm black 24 hours a day. I'm an FBA 24 hours a day. I'm a certified FBA 24 hours a day. I mean, the biggest example that I talked that was our the biggest example of what a messed up magic mulatto is that half-breed motherfucker, that half-breed tether, Barack Hussein Obama. Now, I still have a problem with that motherfucker. He did everything to undermine black Americans' progress. All right? And we supported this motherfucker. Okay? This big-eared, punk-ass president. Yeah, he was born. He was birthed by a white woman and was raised by white grandparents who were somewhat white supremacists. Probably didn't think very highly of. Grew up on the island, grew up on the rock, where there was not that many black folks on that island. And then coming out to Chicago and talking about he's pro-black and shit, and married a black woman. Now, there was rumors out there that he was interested in a white woman and this, that, and the other, but they told him, look here, motherfucker. If you want to be president, you better have a black woman, and you better make sure you have make sure you have daughters. If you have a son, no. You can't have a son in the White House. You can't have a black boy in the White House, all right? Can't have that. But see, this is what I was talking about Why I don't believe in interracial, that's why I don't really believe in interracial marriage. Because in interracial families. I don't believe in it. Believe it or not, I'll date a white woman. I'll show up at the Million Man March with my snow bunny, hand in hand. Alright? She'll be saying Black Power. Every time I see my fellow FBA, I'll raise my fist in the air to another brother saying Black Power. And she will be behind me saying Black Power. Okay? And I dare any of y'all motherfuckers to do anything about it. Now, like I told you before, I'm not for it, but if that's what floats your boat, cool. Just keep in mind, I'm not dating out of my race because I have something against black women. I think it's played. I think everybody's talking about black women, doing that Tommy Sotomayor bullshit about black women this, black women that, it's played out. But if I have to have children, I would have children with a black woman, even though that bitch is probably going to do something stupid to try to keep that child away from me. Okay? Because that's what women do. That's what these niggas... Can't use the N-word now. I gotta say black bitches. That's what these black bitches be doing. If you as a man that doesn't like what she does not like what she, or does not want you to do what she wants you to do, she's gonna try to keep that child away from you. She would do anything in her power to keep that child away from you. Okay? She will because black bitches are stupid like that. Black women are stupid like that. They're batshit crazy. But at the end of the day, I love them. I wouldn't marry, like I said, I wouldn't marry any of these hoes right now. I wouldn't marry anybody that's Americanized right now. Because, let me tell you something, these women ain't worth it. And I'm talking about American women. None of them are worth it. And if you think it's even better going out and getting these foreign bitches, I want you to think again. Remember what Eddie Murphy said in his routine about 40 plus years ago about marrying an African woman named Mafufu? She's fine and dandy in her own country, but as soon as you bring that bitch back over here in the United States, and she gets around these black bitches, they're gonna say, Eddie, I get to have half your shit. And that's what's going to happen. She's going to take half your shit, man. She's going to be like a lot of these Americanized bitches that's out here over here. You might run into one that may be a gold mine. But hey, that may be gold to you. But you're going to have to deal with a whole lot of bullshit. Because anytime you're dealing with a woman, you're going to be dealing with bullshit. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you think. I don't care how good of a woman she is. You're going to be dealing with bullshit. 24 hours a day. Like I told my mom the other day, she told me, "Damn, you're talking crazy. You You 50 plus years old and you never had you're not married. You better go ahead and get married right now. Have some babies right now. I'm like, and I said, Mom, you need to go talk to my brother about that shit. Okay. He wants to get married. I ain't trying to marry none of these hoes. These hoes ain't shit. Half these hoes ain't shit, man. But I'm gonna tell you right now, and this is where the fellas fuck up. Okay, and I stress that in my other live streams. If you're not honest with, and I don't care what race she is, I don't care what color she is, what race she is, what religion she is, I don't care, I don't give a fuck. If she's a pygmy, that you found a pygmy chick, or a midget, or a midget, you do anything to fuck her over, okay? If you try to fuck her over, first of all, she will know about it. She will know about it even before you even try to do that shit. So, but if you do manage to fuck her over and she finds out about it, and you lie to the bitch, this is where you're gonna have your windshield broken. She's gonna be calling your job, dropping dimes on you. She will fuck up your life as a man, especially if you're married. Now, I like to say that most women don't divorce their men for no reason, and they do. They divorce, it could be a myriad of reasons why a woman would leave you, okay? One reason being is that it is not that you fucked her over. It is not that she fucked you over, that you fucked her over twice and came back. That means she really loves you. Okay? Fuck her over, she forgets about it, brings you back into the fold, and that's it. And you move forward. Okay? Because you have what's called history. She's not going to leave you over history. Believe me, I had that happen before. It's just that she comes to the point where she says, fuck it. That has happened to me. I had a bitch come back and I just said, nah, fuck you. I tried to be friends with the bitch, and then she won't take my calls anymore. Yeah, I learned that lesson. Never always be straight with the woman that's in your life. 100%. There's no real reason to lie to a bitch. And I told you that before. I told you fellas that before. These bitches ain't worth lying to. They're not worth lying to them. They're not worth lying to them to get them. They're not worth lying to keep them. Okay? And it's not worth lying to get rid of them. You're not worth it. And you're gonna, you will find out. Oh yeah, you will learn. You will find out that these bitches ain't shit. And I looked at some of the bitches that I lied to, and I'm like looking back, and I'm like saying to myself, I lied to you to spare your feelings? Bitch, you ain't shit. She turned out not to be shit. So I'm always going to tell the bitch the truth, 100% of the time. Let me see how much time I have left. I've been with y'all for 20 minutes. Let me get the fuck off this live. I got a Balcony Chronicles to get ready for tomorrow. I may do a Balcony Chronicles. I may not. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to be doing. But you know what? I'll get back at y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of the evening. I'll get at y'all later. This is Talking Crazy 88, and I am out of here. And black men, let's be careful out there, all right?